To be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, to love. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is
Good morning, everybody. So good to see everybody this morning. What a bright and beautiful day. Best day ever, right? And we like to, I'm Reverend Jay, the spiritual director here. So excited to have everybody here in community. And we always like to start with some music, and let's welcome Astra Fox today.
Thank you. Good morning. Won't you join me in opening up to the abundance of this service and everything that today has to offer? I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God. I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God. I let Spirit guide my day, living love in every way. Peace, I am opening to the peace of Spirit. I am opening to the peace of God. I am opening to the peace of Spirit. I am opening to the peace of God. I let Spirit guide my day, living peace in every way. I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God.
Thank you so much. We've had so much music in the past few days with yesterday we had two different bands playing in our courtyard this morning, so we're just blessed with beautiful music. So it's great that we were able to wish BB a happy birthday yesterday, so there she is today. Not many people had a long party and then show up the next day for church, so we appreciate it. We like to begin our service with our vision and mission statement. So if you'll look on the screen or at home on your screen and read with me. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. So I want to catch you up on it. This past week, there were some great expressions for our community and for Napa County, really stepping into a fuller expression of what we experience as truth and what more people are. And part of that is the movie we've been showing. We previewed it here in our center in June. And we've had 2 showings with a collaboration with other nonprofits. We had one down at the Napa Valley College, and on Monday it's St. Helena Cameo Cinema. Now, all those have been sold out, but you can see this movie that is an accurate portrayal in my mind of the calling out that Christian nationalism, the movement, is not about Christianity, but it's about a political white supremacy movement, and it's important to call it out for what it is. And what's great is we've had not only been able to show the movie, but had panel afterwards at the college and also at the cinema tomorrow night. The panel will be myself, Pastor Marilee Sheffer from the Napa Methodist Church, and Peter Coyote, the narrator of the film, and a Buddhist priest. So we're really covering, I represent kind of intra-faith, all faiths, kind of faith, but it's important to have these views of faith calling out that this Christian nationalism is not a movement of faith. It's a movement about power and privilege. And so it was a great discussion that we had, and we can, I know the one we had here was Peter Coyote and myself, and I can repost that online so you can see that if you're not able to make it to either one of the viewings. Like I said, the one in St. Helena, college was full, and St. Helena is already sold out too. That's tomorrow night. And then also on Tuesday, we had a 9/11 memorial, or was that Wednesday? I guess it was Wednesday. We had a 9/11 memorial ceremony that happens every year down at the 9/11 memorial. And I was invited to offer prayer for this. And so I did that. And thank you, Richard Burns, for these photographs. He's such a good photographer, amazing photographer. But it really was an honor to be a part of that and remembering that and remembering stories that were made up after that and misaction that happened after our anger as well. But that it's important to remember the truth about that and remember those who lost their lives on that day. So it's a beautiful remembrance as well. And then yesterday we had events here with music. It was a wonderful celebration. It was well received. And a few clips, the music we had. The first person, her name is Helen.
And I got a feeling I'm falling for nobody else but you.
So it was just a fun service, a fun time to have. So we will have those again next year, unbottled concerts in June, July, and August. September was a little, it got dark pretty quickly last night. So we're committed to having them 3 in June, July, and August. I'm there. We'll have Nuclear Blonde again and Fab 5 that was there, Beyond Fab that was there yesterday. So both those bands have been favorites here. We'll probably include those on some of our dates in next summer. So look forward to that. And then I want to also let you know that my class starts this week. So this is the last week to register for the Fully Awake and Truly Live class. I was offering a morning class. We didn't have enough people for that. So only offering the Tuesday evening course at 6:30. It's a wonderful class that I'm kind of merging practical tools from science and mind with the wisdom of the ancients to help all to discover the ways to become fully alive and to make a difference in our lives and the lives of others. As Howard Thurman suggests, what the world needs is people who have come alive. And also as part of this class, there are small groups at the end of it that support and help each other, or to be able to talk about the ways we're trying to live a spiritual life and to support each other in that way, to listen and to hear each other in that way. So hope you can make it, both hybrid, both online on Zoom and in person. Obviously, preferably in person, but either way is fine. So you can register at the welcome table or online this week. Need to do it by tomorrow because the class is on Tuesday. And then also this week, the pro-inclusion meeting that we have helped to bring forth. It's a combination of many different nonprofits that Can Do is sponsoring it. Joanne Sucher and Laura Keller are the group leaders, and the meeting is on the 17th at the Napa Methodist Church on Tuesday. It's funny where we are, not funny, I think it's good that we're forming partnerships with other faiths we had people from the Methodist Church at our Unbottled concert last night, and she's part of the panel with me, and we've had, so it's good to have these other faiths and partnership in the things we do. It's great. And then Friday coming up, so this coming week, I've already got some claps there. The autumn equinox. I mean, it already feels like fall here, and so we're going to have an official ritual that brings in this fall energetically as a way of a season of change. And we're going to have dances of universal peace. So it all starts at 7, and yes, I know it's going to get dark, but this is the kind of stuff where we want it to be the darkness. So we're going to include this dances of universal. Don't be intimidated because it's simple dance, simple words. I promise you. And if you're like me, I might forget the words, but I just kind of hum along with everybody else and keep the motions up. So that's fine to do. No one's going to call you out, I promise. So it's fun to be a part of, and it's a way to bring in this energy to move our bodies and be with it. And then finally, next Sunday, the 29th, not the 22nd, but the week after that, the 29th, we're going to have a sound oasis with Bodhi Starwater, which is a really fun way to just be immersed in the sounds he creates, the sound gongs and bowls and all sorts of interesting instruments that bring in it. It's a way of a quantum healing of your body, so body, mind, and soul. So that'll be great. We do need people to pre-register for that. I know we've had a lot of things going on the last few weeks, so now is the time to begin to focus on that if you're interested in that, to get signed up for that. And then Spanish-speaking services, you can find the information online as well if you know someone who, whether they're bilingual or Spanish-speaking, enjoy Spanish language services. And then finally, we're moving into October, thinking ahead as we move out. And Astra and I are doing a workshop on October 13th after the service. I'm going to be talking about prosperity and abundance, and she's going to be talking about mantras, ways to create more abundance, as well as just anything in your life that you want to create, and using music to do that. Often we say that music is a prayer twice prayed, because it's another one of these avenues in our body that accesses our cellular shifts. So, the sound healing, the movement, and the equinox, this mantra, these are all ways to more bring in all your body, mind, and spirit. So Meditation always at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, and we're always wanting and inviting you to your prayer request, because the practitioners and I love and consider it an honor to pray for you. We do it weekly on Tuesdays, and so we take all those prayers and we pray them out loud and know the truth and continue to hold them during the week. So if you have a prayer request, first of all, you can stay after and enjoy a prayer one-on-one, personal prayer, or you can fill out a prayer request online or in the lobby, either one. The last thing I want to say is that usually we have a practitioner who is here, and during the meditation, they get up and lead a meditation and then express a reflection. Martha Martinez was scheduled today, and she recently had a knee surgery. So she is at home in good spirits, but not moving around very much. So she recorded a video for us. So right after your song is over, we're going to go straight into the meditation that she's going to lead us in. So you'll recognize her as Martha Martinez. So as we begin this sacred time of our service.
At the center of my being there is love. At the center of my being there is love. This love is perfect. This love is in me. At the center of my being there is love. At the center of my being there is peace. At the center of my being there is peace. This peace is perfect. This peace is in me. At the center of my being there is peace. At the center of my being there is love.
Let's close our eyes for a moment, knowing that there is only one God, one divine spirit. In God I live, move, and have my being. I know that we are part of God's expression and that we express perfectly harmony. Because God is our wisdom, God is my intelligence, I cannot but think the right thing and truly alive. God is our intelligence. There is no waste of time, as God is the only maker. Our work is always well done because it is God's work. The Holy Spirit is always inspire us. Our thoughts are fresh, new, clear, and powerful as they feed omnipotence. I know that my prayers are the work of the Holy Spirit, powerful as the eagle and gentle as the dove. And I thank you for all of this. And so it is. Well, hello, my name is Martha. And it's a pleasure talking to you and being here. Thank you very much. Fully awake and truly alive. Nice topic. Thank you, Reverend Jay. And I had a knee replacement almost 3 weeks ago, and I haven't been able to drive. But soon if I start driving, you will see me again. But When I was thinking on renewal and almost born again, I remember every morning to pray my serenity prayer that I fix for myself, and every morning I do it, and it goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to stop beating myself up for not doing things perfectly, the courage to forgive myself because I'm working on doing better, and the wisdom to know you already love me just the way I am. And I say that every morning because I was once my own worst enemy, beating myself for things I done or not done, say or not say. And I clung to my sadness and shame like a perseverance in the ocean of my own mistakes. And I decide to share this with you in case you ever join me in harsh self-criticism, or if you even make a mistake or even something that you have a hard time forgiving yourself for. Because believe it or not, I learned that by holding myself hostage to past actions did me no good. On the contrary, by holding on to my sorrows, I only turn off the light of my self-love, my self-esteem, and my self-confidence. Because negative thoughts or talks are not humility. It is a destructive force that steals my inner peace. And when I figure out that, when I learned that I was doing that, I took this adventure of science of mind. So today I tell you that my desire for adventure is divinely inspired, because the world is a vast and wonderful place filled with opportunities to discover and explore. And I welcome new experiences by embracing an attitude of adventure. And by doing that, it makes me feel very good and inspired. And if I find it difficult, or if courage does not come naturally to me, I remember that God is with me, waiting me, divinely guiding me toward adventure. Today I allow myself to take small steps, and perhaps with a short trip or by embracing a course to learn a new skill. With each new adventure, I know my life expands and my confidence grows. So I invite you to be confident with your growing, with yourself, and envision a life filled with exciting experiences and with faith and trust in God. That's what I did. And my adventure today is beyond my comfort zone. Today I look forward to the adventures that are to come. I invite you to do the same. And thank you very much. And I love you guys. Have a beautiful day.
I loved the roosters in the background. That was great.
life. Breathing out the whispering fears and distractions. Breathing out, my thoughts are clear. Revelation. Leaning into grace of life. Leaning into light. Leaning into love divine. Leaning into life. Breathing out the whispering fears and distractions. Breathing out, my thoughts are clear. Revelation. Breathing in this bliss of life. Breathing in this light. Breathing in this dream divine. Breathing in this life. Breathing in this life.
What a beautiful song. I heard it. I heard it in rehearsal this morning. I'm enjoying it now, so it's great. It's great. I too enjoyed Martha's reflection. I too heard the rooster, sort of like a wake-up call or something. They're like, wake up, wake up. Okay, I'm awake. Okay. But also as a reminder for me about the self-forgiveness process. This morning I received an email, and I appreciate emails that are, just comments, positive, or areas I can grow on. I'll put it that way. Or they want me to grow on, right? I sent an email, my weekly email. I'd like to tell you the mistakes in it were to test to see if you really read the email or not. But I accidentally sent out a draft of my email, and it had a lot of errors in it. And I'm embarrassed by that, and recommitting to myself to take time with things and don't just try and cram things in. So it's a more commitment to myself than anybody else, but I'm just letting you know I'm aware of that, and thank you for letting me know about that. So only one person, I hope more than one person reads it, but other people might have been, that kind of Minnesota nice and didn't want to say anything about it, but anyway. So today I'm excited about the topic today, Om Shanti Om. And it's part of this being fully awake and truly alive topic we have this month. And Om Shanti Om, if you know anything about this, if you've heard this before, you know that Om it's written, but it's really representative of a sound that the Hindus have created a symbol for that looks like this. And the best they can do in writing is put OM, but really it's a sound that they say is the sound of the universe, of the divine presence. And they believe in absolute oneness. So this is the sound of one. And it's Om. And then Shanti is Sanskrit for peace. So sandwiched together, it is oneness, peace, oneness. Om Shanti Om. And what a beautiful way as a mantra, as just a time of contemplation or on the go when you have a misstep, like my email or like anything, or someone is confrontive, or you see something that triggers you, it's just home as a release and a relax. Shanti Om. So it doesn't have to be this long chant. It can be just that relaxing and recognizing that peace within you that is there and opens you up in this way. What's interesting about the testimonies and faith stories and all the sacred text is at the core of them, it's really about this peace. It's about finding a peace within us. Moses, when he went up on the mountain to bring down the 10 Commandments to his people, what he was guided to bring was a way to guide people, a template, if you want to call it, for living. Because the way of Spirit is not to be an autocratic someone telling you what to do. It's allowing you these ideas that you can guide yourself by. You're empowered to follow them. You're your own accountability. Now, sometimes I have a group that I meet with every week that's an accountability group. I say, these are my intentions, and we talk about how, I talk about how I can create them, and then the next week they say, how's it going? So there's, and I like that. But at the same time, that is my intentions that I've created. So these guidelines that Moses, that he brought down, the 10 Commandments, were things like don't have any other idols in front of you, these fake outward idols that you worship outside yourself. Be within yourself. No spirit within you. The great I am is what he talked about. The I am, that is I am. So he had this idea that he felt guided. Now, the Judaism went on to, in other past Moses, to add so many more laws, and 361, somebody said. I have not counted them, so I don't know if that number is accurate or not. But they're all about health and well-being for the good of the order, abundance and growth in the context of those days. And that's important, in the context of those days. So when you have in Leviticus verses that men should not lie with men, it's not about homosexuality or being gay. It's about the Israel, Jewish tribes wanting to have babies and grow. So if men lie with men, the women aren't pregnant. That's the problem. It's not a sin or anything. It's not an abomination or disobedience of God. It's just we need women pregnant because we need more kids. And to do this agriculture, this farming, we need people. We need kids that grow up to be strong and help us farm, help us raise more kids, and we can grow that way. And that's what it's about. There's nothing sinful or disobedient in that. And what's also interesting is as this testament continues in the Bible, the early Christians, the first 3 centuries, were following the way of Jesus. And Jesus updated this idea of the 10 Commandments. He said there's only 2 commandments that are above all the most important, and that's to love each other and to love God with all our heart, soul, heart, and mind. That's the important thing, is love. And so he told his disciples that blessed are the peacemakers, and keep your swords in your sheath and bless those that seem to oppose you or criticize you. Love them. And there's an unseen kingdom that is visible through the love that we offer other people. And this is this Christian, which means in Christ or Christ through us, and that lasted for 300 years until an emperor named Constantine came along, a Roman Empire, and he converted to Christianity. And we talked about Christian nationalism today. He's the first Christian nationalism because he combined church and state. And I believe, it's not really clear, but I believe one reason, maybe he converted and then figured out how to use religion to control people. But religion changed under his rule because suddenly people were told what to believe. And if they didn't believe these things, you were sinful. And they made up stuff that wasn't even in the Bible. And this continues in fundamentalism, not only in Christianity, but Judaism, in Islam, even in Buddhism and centers for spiritual living. We have fundamental aspects that are rigid and tell people if you don't do it this way, you are wrong. Right? Have you heard that before? Yeah. Well, you're not going to hear it here. Because the guides that we give you, that we offer you, are ones that you take internally and you let yourself be your own temperature guide. Am I on track? Martha was talking about it, like, okay, I didn't do everything I wanted to get done today. I'm not perfect. There is no perfection. We do the best we can. We continue to have this vision of being this love in action. What's interesting is the Eastern religions have kept this idea of Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Confucianism, all have general guidelines that people follow. There's no edict. In fact, the Buddhists are interesting. They have a teaching that says, if you meet Buddha in the road, kill him. Isn't that a weird thing to say? But what that's about is, if you have this image of what Buddha is, if you worship this, if you think this is what it is, kill that, dispel that belief. Because Buddhism, the true Buddhist nature is found within. The true Christ nature is found within. It is not out there. Moses said that. Don't put idols out there. Don't worship anything. Be within. And that's the key. Islam. The name Islam means peace and surrender. The Quran says that one of the names of God is peace. If God is peace, and the revelation of the Quran is to Muhammad is peace, then peace is central to their beliefs. And any Muslim will tell you that. There are fundamental aspects. What's interesting about the Taliban and things like that, it's not religious. Their terrorism is, they claim it is. As a matter of fact, some people call Christian nationalism the American Taliban, because it's the same thing. And so we go back to knowing what is our truth and stay in our lane and our being. And the first thing I want to talk about is it's when we talk about this Om Shanti Om, is there's no place like Om, right? I know, corny. But it's a good way to remember it, We don't have to click our red shoes to pull away the curtain of illusion. Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite scenes, it's a great movie, so much metaphysical truth in that. But remember the scene when Dorothy goes to see the Great Oz, and suddenly I think it's Toto that pulls the curtain back, and then Oz is behind there, and he sees the curtains back, and he tries to shut it. Once the curtain is open, you can't shut it again. And that's the awareness that you have, that we have, that the truth is the Spirit within us. And most people seek this kind of empowerment and the beauty of true spirituality. Polls have shown, like the Pew polls, and there's another one I can't remember right now, but they ask people, are you spiritual, religious, and different questions out. But what's interesting, a strong majority, around 80% of the people, either say they are spiritual and not religious, or spiritual and religious. Some people have no answer on that. Very few people, like less than 5%, say they're religious and not spiritual. So the key, the common area is people resonate with this word spiritual. That's why we changed our name from Church of Religious Science to Center for Spiritual Living. But there was also something in there they couldn't relate to the word religious science, but we can relate to the idea of spiritual living and this being a center and less of a church. So in this Om, we find our own peace. That's a subtle peace. That's a clear peace within us. And what's interesting is when change happens in our lives, whatever change that can be, whether it's a subtle change or an obvious change, we can be aware and mindful of how we're dealing with change. Are we one to ignore it or pretend it's not happening? I think of companies like Kodak invented digital photography and then decided it would never replace film and didn't do anything with it. They're bankrupt now. Xerox developed the personal computer, and they decided that they would be too expensive and nobody would be interested in them, and they focused on copiers. Guess where that took them? Yahoo and AOL, they focused on email and thought this whole idea of searching the internet wouldn't be a big deal. So we need to not ignore change that's happening as a faith, a Center for Spiritual Living, being aware of what is progressing as individuals, not to hide away from it. Some of us also are those that when change happens in your life, you're sort of gripping on to whatever you can find. Your fingernails are on the wall as you don't want to change. Now there's reason to go through change mindfully. We don't want to just jump into anything, but it's a mindful process. And what I love about the season of change that we are in right now, the little glimpses of fall you see here and there that are coming out in the vineyards and the trees, that we can be aware of an energetic change too, and notice how we process that. And what I notice is for myself is when I'm within, when I'm contemplative, I can notice some stirrings. And I tell you, there was a time decades ago, I had a pretty strong anxiety about the coming winter. Part of it, I lived in Colorado, and the winters were not only dark like they are here, it was cold and snowy and storms. But I was aware that I made a lot of stuff up about it, and that I really now embrace this change with the coolness. It's easier to embrace in a town like this, where the climate is more temperate, but still, there's an energetic change that we can channel and enliven. And also during those dark winter months, another reason why I was a little anxious about it is I'd get kind of in a funk around seasonal change and isolate myself. And so I also make sure not only am I aware mindfully of emotions and feelings, but I'm also have a few tools, and if you want to think of a spiritual emergency kit, like when the fires are here, we had to-go boxes, right? Or we have earthquake boxes or kits that are available. So this is a spiritual one where, I don't know about you, but when I invite people over for dinner or something, it takes a month to find a time on a schedule to do it. So I'm doing that ahead of time. And I'm aware of people to call if I get into, or people that I can get support from, or practices that I do. Martha was talking about her practices of journaling, of having certain books I read for inspiration. To me, Joel Goldsmith is a go-to for me. He's a fundamentalist in some ways. I mean, he was raised in Christian Science, went to divine science, but he's just so clear for me that I know the truth when I read him. So there's certain authors, certain videos, certain things that you might have in your toolbox, in your to-go kit that you can go to rely on. And I think the biggest tool we have is contemplation, though. That we can let old patterns and beliefs, just let go of them, because sometimes our anxiety and fears are not even ours. Since the pandemic, or even before that, around here with fires and earthquakes, but especially during the pandemic, there was a cultural anxiety that you or I had to be mindful of what was ours. And there's a reason to be cautious when there's a pandemic going on. I'm not saying you go out and not worry about anything. Take care of your health. But there was a generalized anxiety, and guess what? It hasn't gone away just as the pandemic is over. It has become more subtle. And I've noticed in this election cycle, it has increased. Anybody else notice that? Yeah. So we have to separate this as not our energy and be within ourselves. And the best way to do that is to go within and open up in that way, in that truth of who we are. And what I know is that one of the best ways to do that is to step what I talked about last week into the witness. Thinking of it as a bicycle tire with the spokes that go across and all the different energies are in this world. Some are important for us to know, some are let to go, but to step back into that and just notice, observe life as it is. Observe what is. And from that perspective, we can know what is ours and what is not ours. Know that some things we need to feel and think and experience and consider. One of the progressions we've made in Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, is the original new thought, positive thinking that started in the 1850s, in the 19th century, was that what we think, our consciousness creates all of life. Everything in our life, everything we experience. And to a degree, that is true, but we're updating that to recognize that positive thought alone is not enough. And that sometimes things happen that are either culturally created or maybe they even just happened. But it's our response that matters. It's like Viktor Frankl said that the space between what happens and our response is our mindfulness, and that's where true choice happens. That's where we create. And so to notice that and notice that creative aspect of us is knowing a greater truth that can come through us. And we also can anticipate when we have an intention what might be an obstacle to us living fully and being truly awake. So for me, considering what might happen in the winter based on things that happened in the winter, or just thinking of what might happen, other people might have experienced during the winter, being lonely or isolated or disconnected or kind of in a malaise, that I can anticipate that. Not that I'm not, my thinking does not create that. I don't need it to go. It's like when I ride, I used to do more mountain biking riding, I'm doing road biking now. But when I was doing mountain biking in Colorado, there are roots and rocks on the trail. And when I'm riding, if I spend my whole time looking down at those rocks, I'm definitely going over. There's no doubt about it, because I don't know what's next. I need to know what's next. But if I look too far up, I'm not looking enough down, and I'll go down that way. And fish are going downhill, you're going pretty fast. So you do this thing where you notice things, and then you are always about 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet in front of you, and somehow your mind processes what to do pretty quickly, and that's life. Your intention is forward. You're aware of possible obstacles that can happen. You've got them. And if they appear, you know what to do. You know how to handle it. You're ready for that. But you're not creating that. Your intention is clear on what it is. I always think of those marathoners in Chicago who had the intention to finish their 26.2 mile race. And they all reported the last half mile was the hardest race they've ever had. Come to find out, somebody mismeasured the marathon. It was 26.7 miles. So their intention was to do 26.2. So my intention is to do 30 miles every time, whatever it is, to get past that finish line, to go through that, not just to get there. The sports teams that just want to get to the championships rarely win the championships. You got to go through that, and for yourself to move, keep going, know what's beyond that. There might be obstacles, but keep going. And one of the keys as we step into this Om state is connecting to the dots of the internet. So the intranet in that way. This metaphor about a vast network that we can imagine based off the Indian myth of the Indra's net. that is a vast network, and at each intersection there is a diamond or a jewel or a gem, if you want to call it, which represents each human. And we are more aware of those in that connection we have in our inner circle, our closed circle of the gems we know about. But what we also know is beyond that, there's a whole network of oneness of all living life, not even just human. All living life. And we can trust that process and know that there is this universal net. Before there was a World Wide Web, long before this, there was a universal wide web, a UWW. I was talking to a friend the other day. We were on the phone, and we were talking about a mutual friend of ours we hadn't heard from in a few weeks, and she's been challenged in life. She lives outside of Napa, so we weren't physically able to see her. But my friend said that she'd reached out to her several times and hadn't heard from her. And we knew there was something that was facing her, and it was immediate, and she hadn't called either one of us after that. We were concerned, and so we offered a prayer together, and we talked some more, and then we hung up. And then 10 minutes later, my friend texted me that our mutual friend had texted her and called her and said she was fine. Now, is that by accident? Did she hear her ears burning, so to speak, on this intranet? She heard that and responded to it? I think it's much more accurate. Our internet goes down all the time, right? This never goes down. This is always there. Always has been from ancient days, that we can depend and we can trust it. Thich Nhat Hanh, who I love his writings and his work, the Buddhist teacher, he said, I have lost my smile, but don't worry, the dandelion has it. So when we lose our smile, know the universe has our back, has who and what we are, and that we continue to choose peace in everything we do, in all things we do. So what I'd like to do to close things is to do a little practice here of oming, because I think it's one thing to talk about it, and it's better to experience it. So what we're going to do with a singer, I'm not a singer, so with a singer's help here, we're going to do 3 ohms. And also what's important about an ohm is we will all finish at different times, and that's fine. You don't have to last as long as a professional singer can. And just let it just also bask in, let the ohm come from your heart. In the same way that this bowl, I'll play that too, that has a heart tone in it, and it comes from the heart. So allow that reverberation to come, to sink into your heart as if you're singing from your heart. So we're going to do it 3 times, and then I might add some Shanti Ohms in there too. But let's start with these 3 ohms, okay? Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Shanti Om. Just allow that to resonate in you. This is the sound of the universe that you have vocalized. It resonates in you and the oneness that is all life. We know that Spirit is this voice within you that resonates deeper understanding, deeper truth, deeper awareness, that guides you both in the moment when you're experiencing obstacles, guide you towards how to be aware of obstacles. And I know Spirit is doing that through us right now. So we just allow Spirit know this truth as it continues to guide us, be with us, as we be this peace that we know. We know this is the truth. We declare it to be so in this moment and always. And so it is.
Star seeds rise, your heart drum is calling you home to stand and be the light shining through the shadows of darkness to heal the wounds of life. We shine, we are one truth, love divine. We are wisdom realized. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. We are one breath burning bright. We are sacred soul inside. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. Transcendent truth, your heart's constellation, a symphony of light. Ignite, ascending through the veils of illusion. Behold these wings and fly on high. We are one truth, love divine. We are wisdom realized. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. We are one breath burning bright. We are sacred soul inside. Star seeds rise, we stand as one. Star seeds rise, your heart drum is calling. Star seeds rise, your heart drum is calling. Star seeds rise, your heart drum is calling.
Beautiful. It's interesting how I've heard you play that song before, but there's something new in the way you're expressing it.
Thank
I don't
you.
know what that is, but
Well, I was feeling your talk as I sang it.
okay. All right, there you go. So it's mutual. I like that. Okay. This is a time in our service when we invite you to be part of the law of circulation. If we could have ushers come forward, please. What I know is that which you give is an expression of your love, and it will come back to you in many, many ways. We appreciate your support of our vision and mission that we are accomplishing in many ways here. Many ways to give, either online, texting, or checks. And we know that some of you give, have previously given, or are giving today, or will in the future. And just take that which you're giving and or representative of what you have given and place it over your heart and repeat with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Singing and affirming all good things, arriving in divine perfect time.
All good things come to me. All good things come to me. All good things come to me in perfect timing. All good things come to me. All good things come to me. All good things come to me in perfect timing. All good things come to me. All good things come to me. All good things come to me in perfect timing. All good things come to me. All good things come to me. All good things come to me in perfect timing.
Just think how her music is another thing you can put in your toolbox, right? And if you don't have a CD player, are you on Spotify or anything or else?
So my previous stage name, Cricket, is on Spotify. I just released my first single under Astra Fox.
Okay.
So Take a Breath is on all streaming platforms.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was working on putting the email out today, and I was putting Astra. I go, when I first started, when you first changed your name, I had to think about it. Now it's like, it's just Astra. Yeah. It's funny how that is. So we want to welcome anybody who might be here for the first time or the first time in a while or fairly new. We always like to have you here, but especially anybody who might be here for the first time. We have a gift for you. We want to acknowledge you. Anybody here for the first time? Thank you. Welcome, John. Welcome also anybody online that happens to be here for the first time. We appreciate you checking us out. And we're always here at the same time, and you can find, and for those here, we also have on YouTube, we have past talks and different things like that that are on our YouTube channel. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because the more it's subscribed, the more we get played, the more it comes up on people's feed. So we have an affirmation here, so we raise our hand here and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Do we have any children today? One teen. And one, why don't you come up here, Casper? Come on up here. So, tell me why you like your mom's music so much. Let me get this microphone over here for you. Why do you like your mom's music so much?
I better think about that.
Have you helped write any of the songs?
Not really.
Not really. Well, I see you singing sometimes with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a while.
So you must like them.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's raise our hands and we affirm, we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. That's good. You can just stay up here if you want to, or you can go sit down, either one. Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm led by Spirit.
I'm guided by wisdom.
I am guided by wisdom.
I'm protected by love.
I'm protected by love.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am here to be a blessing.
I am so grateful.
I am so grateful.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And now our closing song. There it is.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
So as a reminder, practitioners are up here if you want a prayer. Meet everybody else. Let's meet out for coffee and fellowship. And let's go in peace and go in Om. All right. Many blessings. Have a great day.